Hello, welcome. My name is Michelle with Paper Stamp Inc. Thanks for stopping by today. Now, today is day one of my new craft fair series, and last fall I was encouraged by some friends to step out of my comfort zone and rather than attending craft fairs to actually host a booth at a craft fair. And I did that at a few that last season. I did some this spring and found out that I really was enjoying it. I love meeting people is one of the pieces that I enjoy too, which is a little different with YouTube because I don't feel like I get to know you guys. So please drop a comment. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if you like attending craft fairs, if you are another fellow booth craft fair attendee. So I'd love to hear from you and things that you might like to see from my channel as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be doing this 3-pack of notepads, and this was one of my more popular items. I received inspiration from YouTube, and I got the inspiration for this from Lyric Lover, and I did change it up a little bit, but it's very easy for everyone to put their own touches on it. You can use whatever size pads you'd like to utilize to make these projects. You can do them individually as packets. Really, it's all up to you. That's the great thing about crafting. It's your choice. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to see what's inside here. So in the packets, each of them I had a gel pen, and then I had 3 notepads, and these are 3 that I've done up for the new season using the new pattern paper, Nature's Poem, and I just like the way these colors all coordinated together. When you're looking for your paper pads, now remember all of our paper is double-sided, so how much you want to finish off the inside is kind of up to you on what you'd like to do there. But all of it is double-sided, so it gives you 2 choices of what you'd like to do. For the paper pads I used, and what I think is important, is that you're using something that is gummed across the top so that you can get that nice smooth look on them. It just makes them look a lot nicer. So these are 50 sheets each. I got them at the end of last season. I had some left over from their OmniOffice scratch pads. Came as a 3-pack. I'm not sure if those are still available. I couldn't remember where I picked those up, so I'm going to be on the search for them again. One thing you do want to do, like I said, is pay attention to what you're getting, and getting the gum top is much nicer. I picked these up at Walmart, and I should know to pay better attention than I do. So not only are they all kind of mushed up and creased, but they also have this top where they've just been stapled instead of gummed at the top, which I just don't think is going to look as nice. So I'm going to find another use for these, maybe just around the house for my own note taking. Thankfully, I didn't pick up a whole bunch of those. So again, these are 4x6 sheets of or packs of pads of paper, and you can modify that and use whatever size you would like. Now, with those being 4x6, our strips of paper comes in 12x12. So I'm not going to have quite enough with these strips, but we're going to cut each of those 12x12 sheets down. I've already done that into a 4x12 inch strip. So you can get 3 covers out of any one 12x12 sheet of paper. So the other pieces that I utilized is I also needed a 4x2 inch strip of paper, and that's going to be to do this bottom tab here, and a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip of paper in coordinating cardstock. So for my coordinating cardstock, I used mint macaroon, pumpkin pie, and whisper white. And then I did use some Tranquil Tide that I went ahead and die cut our little Adirondack chair as well. So I've done all the cutting for us so we can go a little bit quicker. Let's go ahead and talk about our stamps. The stamps I used were A Good Day, and I just used this one. Here's to a Good Day. And from Colorful Seasons, I used this Breathe part of the stamp. So I just thought that was kind of a nice, sometimes I have to remind myself, stop, relax, take a breath. So I tend to get going onto too many projects all at once. Then our ink, I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss and Pumpkin Pie are the 2 inks I'm going to use. And the Pretty Label Punch is the punch that I utilize. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to grab one of these pads of paper, and I'm going to start by simply lining the back with this tear and tape. And let's go there, and I'm only going to do the bottom part here. I'm not going to go across the top. This is 1/4 inch wide tape, and then because these are thinner Notepads, I went with a 1/8 inch piece across the top. Now, if you don't have an 1/8 inch piece of tear and tape, that's just fine. You don't need to worry about that. Just use the 1/2 inch and wrap it over. Now, I found it easiest to start with the bottom. And I'm gonna put this one together, line that bottom up so it's nice and straight. That's probably the trickiest part. Once I've got that adhered down, I'm going to tear off these other side strips and adhere that down. There we go. Now I don't do any scoring. Instead, I simply just fold the paper over as I go, or take that tiny strip off. And I'm going to just give it a little crease with my fingers. Fold that front over. And let's make sure that we've got that lined up nice and straight there. Give it a little crease again. If you want to come in with your bone folder and crease it down better, you can definitely do so. All right, now, like I said, these are 12 by 12 sheets of paper, so once we wrap around, we lose a little bit on that top, so I needed to add something at the bottom, which actually I found worked perfectly for giving a little accent to my paper pad and a place to stamp. All right, I'll grab my Tombow Monomonte glue, and I'm just going to put a little glue along the edges. And fold that over, and what I'm doing is just lining it up with the bottom of my paper pad. So I don't have to really figure out how far up this is going to go, as long as it's lined up there. And then I just wanted to add another layer there. I think that's fine just the way it is, but I'm going to come in and put this strip across there. I just feel like it kind of anchors it a little bit better. Oops, I didn't get enough glue on there to really hold that down well. Now, as far as decorating these, you could do whatever you want to embellish the fronts of these. You could put a sentiment or focal image up here. You could use some rhinestones, some sequins. You can bling it up, decorate it up as much as you would like. Now for me, I'm going to be selling these at craft fairs, and I don't want to put a whole lot of investment into the decorations that people may or may not be willing to pay for. So I'm keeping mine a little bit simpler. And I'm just going to use from that stamp set, Here's to a Good Day. Stamp that down there. And we have the first one done already. How quick was that? Let's move on to the second one. And I'm wondering if I think I'm going to stick with my pattern, but I really love this side of this pattern paper as well. Sometimes they make it hard because they give you too many choices that are just gorgeous. Anybody else like pattern paper as much as I do? Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy pattern paper the way that I do. So while I'm taping this down, I just want to mention that if you would like any of the products that are in this video, I am a Stampin' Up! Representative, so most of them are things that you can purchase from my website if you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Representative. And along those lines of talking about pattern paper, this month, July, we are having a special where you buy 3 packs of pattern paper and you get the 4th one free. That applies to most of the paper packs that are out there. So you can head on over to my channel to get more information. I'll have a link below for your convenience. And it's my website is paperstampinc.stampinup.net. Now see, I got to talking and forgot my own rule, so I already tore off those side strips, so I'm gonna have to be ultra careful here. Let's see if I can get it all. I think I got that laid down pretty well. And let's go and tear off the piece at the top here. Fold. Sorry, I'm getting that out of camera there for you. And fold, and I am going to fold again. Give that a little crease. And crease there. And for this one, I'm using the pumpkin pie for that bottom panel. If you do have double-sided paper, you probably want to think a little bit more about your colored cardstock that you're using, because it is going to be visible on both sides. So if you put a color on there that you just can't stand on the other side, you might want to take a second look before you get that adhered down. All right, and we've got our little strip to put across there. And for this one, I have already die cut using the stitch circles. Now, I am a big fan of dimension, but because these might be going in somebody's purse or their pocket bag, or, I don't want to, they're going to be hopefully getting used quite a bit. I don't want to put things in there or on there that might be snagging. So I thought I might want to just steer away a little bit from the dimensionals, just this one time. There we go. So put that little Adirondack chair on there, and I'm just going to glue this straight on here. There we go. Got number 2. Pad number 2 is done. One more to go. Are you sticking with me? So if you're enjoying what you see on my craft fair series or my other videos, which I encourage you to check out if you have not already done so, I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe. There's a button below this video that you can just tap to subscribe, and then that's going to put my information out in your feed whenever I post a video, so you'll make sure you don't miss out on anything. If you tap the bell, it's also going to show up in your notifications when a new video is posted. And one more strip here. Now for the sentiment on this one that I took from the Colorful Seasons stamp pad, it's actually a sentiment that has 2 words put together on it. Just breathe. It's okay to cut your sentiments apart. I know that can be kind of scary, but don't be afraid to do that with your acrylics. Especially, it's very easy, or your photopolymer, sorry, not acrylics, the blocks are acrylic. With your photopolymer, especially, it's very easy, just kind of stretch them a bit so that there's a gap in between the words, and cut them apart, and they're going to work just fine. It gives you more versatility in using your stamps. You can then stack the sentiments, the words in the sentiment, or you can use just one word out of the full sentiment. So it gives you, I think, a lot more use out of your stamps. So I know sometimes I'm looking for a sentiment that is more square versus rectangular. While cutting them apart, I have the ability to maneuver those a little bit just to fit the space that I'm working with on my card or my project. The first time I did it, I know I was a little like, oh my gosh, am I going to ruin it? No, you're not. You're not going to ruin it. It's still going to work just great. Just, do be careful that take your time when you do it so that you don't cut into any of the letters. And do our little pumpkin pie strip. Fun thing with this project is you can do a whole bunch of these really quickly, and you can really just suit it to whoever you're giving a gift to if you're doing them for a gift, because you can find the papers that you think suit that person or that occasion. Okay, so when I cut this sentiment apart, I don't know if you can see on there, there's a little period because it was part of a phrase, just breathe. Well, I think it looks a little silly to have that dot there when there's just the one letter or the one word. So I'm just going to take a little piece of washi tape, cover up that period. Now, don't forget to take that off, or you're just going to end up with a big blob when you stamp down. So I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White and pumpkin pie to use for the sentiment. And I'm just going to line that up in there. Oops, sorry. And I'm going to punch out my sentiment here. Now, because these are the same size, you're not really going to be able to layer those. But what you can do is take, and we're just going to cut this right down the middle, and then I'm going to offset it slightly so that I get that layered look on it. Let's see, it's probably going to be easier to put my glue on this piece. I'm just going to glue at the top there, line that up, and let's go along the straight edge again for this piece. Line that up. There we go. And we're going to stick this down onto our pad. And there we go. Just that quickly, we've got our 3 paper pads completed. Oops, that was one from that first set. There we go. We've got our 3 paper pads completed. Now all I need to do is take a 12-inch piece of my polka dot tool, tie those up. When I tie them up, I'm just going to offset them slightly, slip them into my bag with a pen, and I'm ready to go. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Have a great day and keep creating.